Michele, thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
As we've both said many times, what goes around comes around, and that's certainly true. And well, with crafts and sewing
Absolutely.
and designing and all. But you were here one time several years ago, and you brought a loom set with you at that time, didn't you?
Right, and that was to work with your normal worsted weight yarns or number 5, but now the trend has really bumped up with the size of the yarn. A lot of the yarn is like jumbo, 6s and 7s, which if you buy yarn, you'll always see the little gauge on the package, on the labels, and tells you what size your yarn is. So
and this is what the loom
so
set
Boye
looks
made
like.
a bulky loom set to be used with the trend of the bulky yarns. So it's really quick and fast and easy because the yarn is so thick, it works up really quickly. So.
I like that. I like quick projects.
Yes, yes, it's fun.
We'll get this out of the way for now. And this is what's in the package.
This is what's in the package, as well as your loom hook and a darning needle. And you might also use like a crochet hook to do some of your work as well.
Some of the bigger ones. Okay.
Right.
Maybe so people can see why we would even want to do this. This, can we
this
take
is
this apart?
Sure. This is a nesting basket set. So
I love
super
this.
cute. Very trendy. You see this all over Pinterest in crochet or in knit, and so you can make it for your home, and you can put like a little air plant in it. You can put nuts. You can put beads in it in your studio. You can make it for a baby room out of any color that you want. So it's super fun. I made this out of
so
two-tone,
I like
and I'll
that.
tell you a little trick about adding the yarns together. But just for the demo, I did it in one to make it easier for us to take a look at.
And talk about gorgeous yarns on the market.
Yes, yeah, Red Heart especially, they make some really thick jumbo yarns, and so they kindly sent this to me to use. And I also wanted to show you don't have to make everything round with a round loom. There are straight looms to use, but you can also make a scarf, which is flat, you can see there. And on that one, I did a regular knit stitch and purl on the end, and I made some fun pom-poms to go with it.
And I love the variegated.
Yeah,
because
that's always so
just
much
picks
fun,
up.
especially with the pom-poms. It's really super easy.
And then this is another scarf that has a pocket.
Right, it's a super scarf, we call it. That was very trendy this year on the runway. And I made little pockets. So I did a knit and purl rib stitch at the end, and I just folded it up for a little pocket. And then that loom shows the knit and purl stitch, the rib stitch, which is super easy, but gives it a really nice texture, I think.
Well, it does.
And it looks pretty fancy, but really easy to do.
Okay. Well,
So
this
you
is
want
my
to get
favorite
started?
so far.
I know,
yes,
that
I
is
want
mine
to
too.
see
So
how
let me
we do
just take
this.
the little one out, because we're going to start with the littlest.
Oh, okay.
And so that's with this yarn, with
the
this
yellow
loom
one.
right here. And I'm going to show you how to, I lost my end. Here, let's grab this. And most everybody knows what a slip knot is, but if you don't, you wrap it around your hand and you pull it through like this.
Like a hangman's noose.
Oh, okay, true, yes, yep. I think that's what we called it when we were kids, yeah. And that's just to anchor it for the first couple of rows so you don't lose it and it comes unraveled. And you take it, and this is called an E-wrap. It's the simplest stitch for loom knitting, and I think it's great for a beginner. Again, really great for kids or therapy work and rehab if you've had any surgery or trouble with your hands.
Good idea.
And it's very relaxing too. So what I like to do is I like to put my hand, my 2 fingers behind this, because gauge is extremely important, the tension especially. So you want to hold it, because if you pull this so super tight, which people have a tendency to do, you're not going to be able to knit it, because it'll be the loops will be too tight to pull over. So I just like to do it loosely, and I do that by just holding the yarn instead of just pulling like this. I'm holding the yarn on like this.
And you're going all the
and
way
I'm going
around.
all the way around. So I just want to show you this, because this is important to get started. Now this yarn is a twisted yarn, and it might come apart a little bit. So you just have to be careful when you're knitting. I'll show you
But the more
why.
you do it, you get a feel for it, don't you?
I don't even have to really look at this when I'm doing it now. I've done a lot.
Watch TV or whatever.
Right. Actually, I needed some help. I taught my son, well, he's in his 20s, and he helped me. I taught him how to loom knit. He does a great job.
And you said there was a gentleman that's over 100 years old.
Yes, you can see him on Facebook. He takes a loom and he knits hat. He's in a nursing home, and he knits hats for charity.
I think that's wonderful.
The one thing about the loom, and I've done some classes for charity in my own community, is that you can teach someone to loom knit and make a hat in one afternoon. It's a little more difficult with knitting, you know, because it's a little bit more involved. But with looming, you can teach them the method and they can make something. And I think that
Very
makes people feel
satisfying.
really good.
I think so too.
Okay, so
We've gone around twice.
right, we've gone around twice. And then I'm going to pick up on this one here because this one I have started.
Oh, okay.
So I have gone around twice on that, okay? And here, this is what it looks like. So it's just
Wow.
nice and thick, the fabric. So
It is.
a knitted piece is called, this is called fabric as well.
Oh,
I had a
okay.
hard time getting used to that term. So basically, I like to take the loom pen.
And that comes in the kit, too.
It does come in the kit, and I like to hold it to its side. You'll find your own way, which is easier, but there's a little groove in that peg.
Oh.
And I take it and I pick it up, and in one swoop, I push it down, so I don't have to go back again. So
Oh, now I
here's
see
it
why you needed
separated.
two.
Right,
Right.
yes, you always
Two
need
right.
two. And then, you know, there's more complicated stitches. There's purl, there's
Knit
a
and
lace.
purl, I think,
Yep.
is- are
and
the
there's a
two that-
lace, you know, one. There's an I-cord one that you can do. And then you just continue
that is
all the way
so
around.
easy.
And then when you get completed all the way around the circle, then you wrap it again and keep going until you're done.
And then how many, it depends, I know, on how
It
long
depends
it
on
is.
how many.
So you'll basically work this off. I mean,
Right.
pretty soon this will be coming back here.
Right, right. So pretty soon it falls through the middle. So see how this will happen here. It goes
Yeah.
right through and falls down, which, you know, you could make well, this would be a hat for a doll, but you know, you could see how that does. So here I've taken this one off, but I'm
So
going to
you
show
took this completely
right?
off the loom. Okay.
So let me just, whoops, this came undone a little bit. So I just need to finish this off because I'm going to show you how to bind off next. Okay, this will just take a minute. So you see why tension is so important.
If it's
At
too
this
tight,
point-
you'd never get that over the end of
Correct.
the loom.
It would just be, it'd be really tight and, you know, you'd have a hard time and it wouldn't be that enjoyable. And, you know, your hands would hurt afterwards,
Oh,
you know, and you don't want that, so. I also taught my yoga club how to do this. And we all made hats last year. And then it was really funny. Then they turned around and made some different like mug holders and things. And we got them for Christmas at our yoga Christmas party.
I
So
bet you did.
it's like-
You said one lady made just at the second item she made was a little sweater for her dog.
Yes, yeah, yeah. A really good friend of mine. I tried to teach her to knit and it was too difficult for her. She wasn't enjoying it. I taught her this. She made a hat and she made a very
Sweater
cute
or-
little sweater for her Maltipoo Maggie, who we adore. So you want to leave a nice long tail, about
okay.
18 inches. And there's a variety of ways to take this off. If this was a thinner yarn, I would show you how to do it with a darning needle. But this is so thick that you need to either use a crochet hook or the hook itself. So basically, you're going to lay this over the top, and almost like you're knitting, but you're going to pull
Take it
this
completely
through.
off.
Let me just do a few of them, and then I can show you the movement, and you'll see how that really works.
And then pull it through.
Pull it through.
Okay.
We'll do one more.
Work it off, just like we'd been doing.
Correct.
Take it complete. I see.
And when you go all the way around, so I want to show you. See how the top, it pulls through. See, like, it's loose
Right.
because you need to gather it up at the end. So you do that whole
All the way around.
all the way around. And then here we have it here, done.
That's why you need to leave that 18 or
Right,
20
right. And then
inches
you
or
can,
something.
right. So,
Cut it off.
and you want to be careful. If you've done this with wool, and sometimes wool isn't as strong as acrylic, depends really what kind. If it's a roving and it's a little loose, you want to pull gently.
Gently.
Because you don't want to break it at this
No.
point. There is a way to fix that. You
Oh,
just get a
okay.
darning needle and go through the loops. But see how you want to start to pull
Pull,
tightly like that. Okay. And you pull tightly like this at the end. Okay. And
What great gifts these would make.
yeah, it's really great. So you
People
can
would
either
be
take
so
it,
impressed
right?
that you had done all this.
You can take a darning needle or a crochet hook and pull that through, and you're going to just tuck that in there because it's going to be covered with felt.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Which is why
And
we
you're going to
cut
do the
this.
same thing on this end as well. So I already had looped this through the end.
Just tuck the
Tuck
tail
that in.
inside.
Okay. And here's the magic.
Oh, I
So you
see.
just put this right like this, right. So isn't that cute?
It really is
Right.
and easy to do. And
Very
then that
easy.
would just be glued on the bottom.
Right. So I can actually cut a little bit smaller circle with this, and I would just apply glue, you know, like a fabric craft glue, and press that in to the bottom. And I would do the same thing on this side as well. This
Well,
looks
that
pretty
is
good,
easy.
but this
Yeah.
helps it to lay flat. You know what I mean? When you have a little bit of a felt bottom on there, it helps it to kind of lay
I
flat
see.
like
I
this.
didn't realize the one inside. Yeah, I can see that.
Because there's
now.
a little hole. It depends. Like if you put something like, you can put like nuts or things like that in there, like, you know, walnuts or something that you know, at a little party or something, or container in your craft room with beads, so you don't want it to fall through the bottom. So
Well, thank you so much. It's been
You're
fun to
welcome.
watch you do that. I like to watch this type of craft. Thank you very much.
oh, you're welcome. It was really fun.